are some things that could be different and should be different. And hopefully I've taken those lessons and I'm trying to raise my daughter. It's intuition.
Okay.
It's like, does it feel right or does it not? And let's say growing up, even in my 20s, it was a bad word. Strength has been such an evolving term for me just over the decades. And I had to get to a place where I was complete on my own. There was nobody coming to
rescue you,
rescue
right?
me or complete me.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Portraits of Strength, a podcast where we share everyday people will share their extraordinary stories that have shaped them. I'm your host, Harry, the anecdotist, and I'm so glad that you stopped by. For nearly 2 decades, Suha has led with intention, shaping digital strategy, building systems, and guiding meaningful work across healthcare, retail, and lifestyle brands. As the managing principal of Digi Trunk and through leadership roles at Studio McGee, Intermountain Healthcare, Zale Jewellers, and Claire's, she has built a career rooted in clarity, impact, and thoughtful design. She holds an MBA from BYU and formal training in digital marketing from Cornell. And yet, her most powerful work didn't happen in boardrooms. Suha is a survivor of domestic abuse relationship, someone who chose courage over comfort and freedom over fear. Leaving a toxic relationship requires a different kind of leadership, deep self-trust, resilience, and the strength to rebuild her own life on her own terms. Today's conversation is about what it took to choose courage over comfort, to heal, and to rebuild a life anchored in self-trust and strength. Suha, I'm truly honored that you have agreed to join me for this conversation. Welcome to Portraits of Strength.
Thank you, Harry. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's get started with, can you tell me a little bit of how your childhood was, what your early experiences or influences in your life were?
So I grew up in India. I immigrated to the U.S. in my late teens.
Okay.
My family. I'm an only child, daughter of immigrants and an immigrant myself. Growing up in India, it was, typical Indian childhood, but we always knew that we were going to relocate to the U.S. at some point.
Okay.
So it was one of those limbo situations where you couldn't quite make your home because it was like you could get your visa the very next year.
So there was a lot of waiting around.
A lot of waiting.
Okay.
About 10, 15 years of waiting.
Oh, wow. Okay. So where in India did you grow up? Chennai?
Chennai and Coimbatore as well. So
okay.
And a little bit in Bangalore. But yeah, so I couldn't make any long-term plans, even friendships, like buying a home for my parents. Like, do we need to do this? Things like that. So, and then eventually we ended up here with my big extended family that's already been living here. Interesting aspect is even though I'm an only child, I grew up with a lot of cousins there and a lot of cousins here in the U.S. And the oldest kind of on both sides of the family. So,
you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lots of pressure to be an example without the perks of having siblings. Just the pain of
So you had the elder daughter or the eldest daughter syndrome, basically.
Exactly.
But without any siblings, but You have cousins too,
have.
kind of. Okay.
And interestingly, my family that's lived here that moved in the 70s and 80s, they're still kind of stuck in the 70s and 80s of what our culture is. Even though India has evolved so much as I grew up, they are still in that mindset of how women should be and how families should be, legacy, things like that. So it's been an interesting brought up, I would say. So, I mean, people are like, you grew up here, but you don't seem like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely shaped me in, I guess, positive and negative ways, right? So, living here so many years, and I'm able to kind of get the best of both worlds. So I like to carry my heritage and my culture, but also analyze, hey, like there are some things that could be different and should be different. And hopefully I've taken those lessons and I'm trying to raise my daughter in a, again, two culture situation, but trying to help her keep some of her originality and individuality as well.
So what are your earlier influences of inspiration or people, like whether it's fictional or in person, like, who have like influenced the way you think and how you look at that analysis or whatever that you were just talking about, right? Is there a particular person that comes to mind?
I think my parents.
Okay.
Perfectly honest, my biggest influence, my mom is still in my head for good or for bad. I think just because my parents have had a rough childhood themselves, they've carried a lot of that trauma and that fear. They both grew up in Sri Lanka and escaped the war. Like the story like you would see in the movies. So that was I was a baby. I was born in Sri Lanka and just we escaped to India, back to our roots. So the trauma that they've carried, the survival, and just let's just be content being alive more than let's just not think beyond that. And
so surviving was more important than thriving or anything.
Exactly.
Because, oh wow, that shapes up the mindset so much.
Sure. And it's taken me decades to kind of get over that and to create my own mindset of, hey, I can thrive. I deserve to thrive. And I get to thrive. And I just have to put in the work. But because that was not the case. So the bar was so low with everything that I guess I grew up with a very low bar and just with a lot of responsibility and expectations on me, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It is what, no, for sure. So what does strength mean to you? Because strength, in my opinion, is a spectrum, right? It can be physical strength, it can be various different definitions. So what's your definition of strength?
My definition today or my definition over time?
Maybe let's go with how it was before and how it has evolved over time, right?
I think strength and just definition of strength in my, like, let's say growing up, even in my 20s, it was a bad word.
Oh, so it had a negative connotation.
Exactly. Okay. So strong means, or a strong woman means you're aggressive, you're rude, you're mean, you're supposed to be soft and giving and tender.
Subtle, basically.
Exactly. And then I think
submissive and subtle. At least that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally. Submissive for sure. So strength was just a negative thing. And even in my 30s, when I think I found the strength to leave a bad situation, it was more for my daughter and not because I magically discovered this strength. I felt empowered as a mother, and I was like, is this how I want my child to be raised? Is this the environment I want her to be in? I don't think I really thought about
yourself
me being strong. And when people would say, wow, you're so strong and resilient, I would get very uncomfortable, to be perfectly honest.
No, I can totally relate, because most of the time when people say you're strong, my immediate reaction in my mind, at least, is like, well, there's no other option.
Exactly.
So when there's no other option, but a few of my other friends also kind of like reminded is like, actually, there is other option. We just choose not to look at it because I mean, there are so many of people who continue to live in those relationships, or even take the other choice of ending their lives or things like that. But those are not options that you or I chose. So yeah, I get it. I relate. I can relate to
I'm
that.
glad you do, because I think in the last few years, just looking back, I just go, wow, I did have a choice.
Yeah.
I was strong. I was resilient. I just didn't have the opportunity to slow down and reflect and go, oh, good job, Suha,
Yeah.
I think that's what's defined strength, and strength has been such an evolving term for me just over the decades. And now I see strength as more of compassion towards myself. Whereas just for most of my life, any word that started with self was just a bad negative connotation.
Selfish, right?
Selfish.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
self-care, self-love, self-introspection. There are some things I need to take responsibility for, things that didn't work out in my life. So even that, it was just focusing on yourself was just such a bad thing. So now I'm like, let me give myself some compassion. Let me forgive myself if I think there's things I could have done differently. So that's been a big shift for me in how I view strength is compassion towards myself. I've become more discerning towards others, but I'm also trying to balance that with the tenderness that I've always had. And I'm a very vulnerable person, so I'm really trying to balance all that, be like, my true self is vulnerable and a giving person, but I'm also now more discerning about who I give that to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to think about, right? Like, it's not, people tend to make strength and vulnerability mutually exclusive,
Yeah.
but it's actually not that at all, because being vulnerable itself takes a lot of strength
Yeah,
to open up,
I know.
right?
I'm sure you've seen that quote from Brené Brown.
Yeah.
There's courage in
Is
vulnerability.
infinity, yes.
For sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's amazing. So how would you describe the season of life that you're in today?
So I've intentionally taken a career break in the last couple of years for just health reasons, and also just to kind of reflect on, I have 2 decades of digital marketing, but is this what I really want to do? Just walking away from that was just a big identity shift,
I'm
because
sure.
I used to just view myself as my career or as my different roles. So when I was leaving my job and taking a career break, my friend was like, okay, let's update your LinkedIn profile, but let's figure out how to word it. So, it doesn't look like
Sabbatical.
you're just out of a job,
Yeah.
and it gives you like a good opening for you to like come back when you're ready. So we're like brainstorming for 5 minutes. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't really care. Who cares how I narrate my story? Who cares how my LinkedIn universe
Looks
is going
like.
to view me and my break? I said, I know what? I don't want to do that. I don't care. I'm taking a break and I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
And does that mean I retired after my MBA?
Sure, that's
So
okay.
be it. So that's been very empowering to see my identity shift from just as a mom or a daughter or wife, as a digital marketer or an entrepreneur, to just Suha. Just not labeling myself in any way has been such an amazing, powerful shift for me. Was that the question? Was that what you were asking?
Like what? Like no. The question was more like, what do you or how would you describe your season that you are in today? So
Okay.
empowering,
Yes.
and not really caring about labels is what I'm getting
For
from.
sure. And that just translates to everything else in the season that I'm in. And I'm definitely in a softer season, where I'm just looking at myself with a lot of empathy and compassion. I'm doing therapy, like moving my body in a way that is good for me instead of
What the society says.
getting into this certain size, or which is great to look good in some cool outfits, but it's been a big shift in how I view everything in life. So I am loving this phase I'm in.
Nice.
It's a good season.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've built an impressive career, as you said, like for 20 years being in the executive level and, you know, reaching that particular role in the job. But you've intentionally taken the career break. What parts of the corporate life or that job do you miss today?
Just spending time with people.
Okay.
I think deep down, I'm just a curious person, and not like in a weird way, but I'm just genuinely curious about people, their lives, their motivations. You know, even as like a manager, I would always like know people's family story and just their backgrounds and what motivates them, what makes them sad, things like that. So I miss just the socializing part of corporate, you know, and also just keeping up with the technology and the times, you know. So right now my interests have kind of spread out. I'm dabbling in like architecture, anthropology, world history, but just turns out it all boils down to just my curiosity in people.
Sure. Yeah. So. No, that's awesome. So when things feel uncertain, or like, I know maybe not right now, but even sometimes like when you take things day to day, when things feel uncertain, what inner qualities do you return to again and again?
Just when I reflect on all the good and the bad decisions and things that I've done right and not so right, it all just comes down to me listening to my gut or not listening to my gut.
So strong intuition.
Very. And I don't think I trusted myself enough to kind of reach for it and trust it and listen to it. And every time I haven't done that, it's definitely come to bite me in the behind.
Okay.
So now I truly trust my intuition and my gut. If you want to say it in a fancier way, or even just think about it, I have decided I don't do anything that's not in alignment with who I am.
How do you measure, like, how do you look at it, whether it's in alignment with you or not?
It's intuition. It's like, does it feel right or does it not? And
so it's just more belief in yourself.
Exactly. And it's also, does it feel uncomfortable? That if though, that's okay. It's just the different voices in my head telling me that you don't deserve it or you're not good enough. You know, those are the things that cause the uncomfortable, like, if you invited me to be on this, I was like, what do I have to say about strength? You know? And then you had to remind me, actually, you do have some things to say. And then I go, that's right. But now I listen to my intuition more and go, is this going to help anyone in any way? Is this, those are the things that align with who I am and my values. So but I just couple my intuition with alignment, and that's helped a lot.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Has your definition of success changed over time?
For sure. We're immigrants, right? Success meant, again, a fancy degree in like 3 or 4 career paths.
The checklist, right?
Exactly. That was success. And also how my family viewed their daughter to be a success, right?
Right.
Oh, she has these degrees in this career, but she's married to the most amazing family and she's produced a few kids,
Yeah.
right? That was success when you have all those check boxes, you know. Now it's a completely different. I really I don't judge people anymore. I think I used to be like, oh, they went to this school. That's great. They must be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
Now it's about, are you doing things that is making you happy? And so success changes every day, right?
Sure.
That's all. And I tell my daughter the same thing. You know, we're sending you to this nice private school, but doesn't mean that you have to go to an Ivy League school, and that's not how you should define. You should define success. We're just providing you the opportunities, but what you do with it, and if that's making you happy, and if that means you don't even go to college,
No,
I will be unhappy deep down, but I'm not going to tell her that. You know?
coming from an immigrant family, an Indian family, and saying it's okay for you to not go to college. Oh my God, that's a big.
I mean, I'm secretly happy that she's ambitious on her own.
That's good, yeah.
But then my husband and I were like, we're trying to be woke here. and she's being the nerd and like every Indian parent's dream. So it helps, but yeah, I'm just joking. Jokes apart. I think success is just, am I happy doing what I am? That's it. So right now I'm not working. And initially it was like, I'm not like producing an income.
Being productive, right?
Exactly. And so now I love my slow mornings and I'm productive in my own way. I'm not bored at all.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. Especially from a woman who's been like, I mean, like getting to that executive level is not easy. I can totally imagine like how much of, work and effort and you must have put in. And how busy your life or days and weeks were, and moving from that to a slow morning itself takes a little bit of time.
For sure.
Right? Like, how long did it take for you to get away from that corporate grind and like?
I would say 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So a lot of it was like my break was more health related. So it wasn't something I just decided, okay, like magically, But it was also a good way for me to justify to myself.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you have
to do this, right? And so everyone's like, you're not going to last even like 3 months. But I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. And because my definition of success and productivity has changed.
For sure.
So I'm grateful. I am deeply grateful that financially I didn't have to worry. If I were a single mom or if I had to, pay the bills and worry about that, I think my life would have been a little bit different, but I don't think my definition of success would have changed
as much.
Exactly.
Okay. So, at that crucial part of your life, you chose to walk away. You chose to walk away from the abusive relationship and to kind of like make your own path. So, what helped you recognize that it wasn't serving you anymore, or the fact that it gave you the strength to come out of it?
It's a good question. I think it was one of those I don't have a choice situations at that point. Looking back, I think I didn't have those choices. But again, it was just about, is this the life I envisioned for my daughter? Is she going to be happy in this or not? For me, it was like, that was the normal after several years of being with someone, and the mental conditioning of, like, beating up every now and then, it's okay, Overall, things are good. Overall, it's a very successful person.
Yeah, once in a while, beatings are okay, kind of like normalizing it, right?
Yeah, because that's what I was told was normal. But I think it's just something once you're a mother, something just some fierce protective nature opens up. And it went, I don't think this is what I want for her. If she were in this situation, what would I do? And I don't know how I got through it. Thinking back, I am really amazed where I got the strength and the empowerment, and just I think just my nature is compartmentalizing. So I didn't really deal with what it was doing to me in that time. I just was go, go, go. How do we get through this? And
day by day.
Yes. And on day one, I got a very good advice from someone who's been through that. And she said, things are going to get much worse before they get better, but they will get better. So I want you to envision what your life and your daughter's life will be 2-3 years from now. And envision that every day. And just the mention of that was just such a relief for me. I was like, oh, things will actually get better. And so every day I would just imagine little things, like, oh, we'll have our own little apartment. We'll have music. We'll dance. We'll talk to each other. And she can do whatever she wants. And I can eat whatever I want. I can buy whatever I want. I'll be making my money, and whatever I make will be mine. And I just kept envisioning this life 2-3 years down the road. And I had my new checklist. I will buy a house. I will have my own car. And we'll go to daycare. I'll send her to this school. And so that really got me through the tough times. And that also gave me the strength that, oh, there is a way out. There is an option, and things will get better. Yeah.
That is such a powerful thing. Right now, people who are in the situation, they might think that, oh, there's no other option. And it's really difficult to think ahead, but making yourself, envision life a few years away.
For sure.
Yeah.
And now that I'm remarried, this is what people think as my success and what
getting remarried
forward to. Yeah.
Oh,
right. So I really have to be clarify and go, no,
yeah,
not at all. This was just a nice bonus and a nice addition. I had to get to a place where I was complete on my own. There was nobody coming to
rescue
me or complete me. Or, and I don't believe in forever anymore. And I tell my husband the same thing. And it's not like we can walk away from this if it doesn't serve us anymore. That just seems like kind of a bad way to look at things. Like, I'm only focused on my selfish thing, and if you're not serving that need, I'm going to cut you off. It's not like that. But if neither of us aren't happy,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And so let's just not hold on to that forever mindset and just see us as two complete individuals. And if we can build something better, yes. And if it's not working out, we don't have to be stuck. And I think that's such an important lesson to teach our children.
Oh, no, yeah, that's such an amazing mindset to have, right? It's not like you're not grateful for what you have, but that doesn't mean that you'll break apart if you don't have that, like you did with your earlier relationship. And it's a kind of maturity that I had hoped we would have, when you're going into your very first relationship.
Exactly.
But, the other day I heard this dialogue in Hindi. It said, it was funny in the sense what it says is, agar 2-3 बार relationship में ठोकर नहीं खाया तो life में कैसे जिया. So basically what it means is, if you haven't been, beaten in 2 or 3 relationships, have you even lived? Exactly. But that's life, right? It's not like from the get-go or the very first relationship you get into is going to be all roses and bed of roses.
I tell my daughter she needs to date several guys, live with one for 2-3 years before deciding to commit.
Yeah,
and it's against everything.
And let me tell you, living with a guy is not always a guarantee either.
Yeah, that's true. I know. Hey, exhibit A, exhibit B.
Even before marriage, I'm telling you.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. People change and evolve
Yeah.
the other way too. And things come up,
Yeah.
So you only have yourself to count on.
Yeah.
Someone asked me recently, she's an immigrant mom. Her daughters are in their early 20s, in the dating world, trying to figure out. And she's like, how did you know when it was right? Like
You don't.
with
Yeah.
my current marriage, and how did you figure it out? And so what advice do you have? And I said, no, it's just your fate,
Yeah.
who you end up with and what that person
There's a lot of luck involved in
Exactly.
this.
They might meet someone
Later.
later, and decide to leave you. They might die on you. You just never know. And so I said, teach your daughters to just trust themselves. They only have themselves.
Yeah.
And so whatever life throws at them, you just need to teach them to be resilient. And as long as you are alive, you can just remind them there's always a safe space to come home to. No judgment.
Yeah.
No questions asked like, what did you do? And that's all we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also like there's a lot of mindset difference, right? Like if like you take into consideration Americans or Europeans versus what us Indians kind of like think about. Like for us, a relationship is once you're married, that's it. No matter what, you are like literally tied to that person.
Yeah.
It's evolving now, and it's kind of like getting a little better. But even now, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas here, a failure of a relationship is just that, a failure of a relationship. Yeah. That's it. And it's not like the be all and all kind of a thing.
I know. Which is so important to remember.
Exactly.
So, like, for me, it was like, well, if my spouse had cancer, or if they lost a limb, would I leave them? No. So I should also not leave a person because of their mental health, and only when it came to a dangerous physical situation for me and my daughter did I go, oh, wait.
This is not right anymore.
Because until then it was like pati patni, like,
yeah,
you're
a unit
to this.
You're a unit no matter what.
Exactly. And that no matter what just it should not be a selfish thing. It's just it needs to be with respect, mutually, and it's a lot. Respect is a lot more important than love in a relationship.
For sure.
I mean, it's okay to like be in love and date and all, but I think marriage should be a very cerebral decision. You are really thinking with your brain and feeling with your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which I think is evolving in our culture, and what
it definitely is evolving. Though slower pace, I would say.
Yeah.
Because even now, I think we're lucky that we live here, where the shame or whatever that they call of being divorced is not seen on you. But it's still shameful.
Yeah.
Back in India.
For sure.
I think there are more, even in India, more couples are getting divorced. So it's gotten a little bit more common, I would say. But it's still kind of like not in our society, or not in our families. And it's again those smaller pockets of life.
For sure. And even the people that live here and seemingly your friends, now that I'm remarried, a lot of people forget what I've been through, right? Or just my history, not even if they don't know the entire story. And people would, when they talk to me about another single person, but she's the divorced one, isn't she? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in a bad
negative way, that negative labels.
Or that's the label, like, oh. Or if they're talking about somebody else, they would be like, they got remarried.
Yeah, it's a big,
so did I.
It's a big gossip thing.
Even like people that are young, that have lived in this country for a long time. They were like well educated, well traveled. Mindset is mindset.
Mindset is mind. Oh, definitely. It's like, as they say, right? Like, you can get the people out of the country, but you cannot get it out of their mind unless they want to change.
Unless they want to change.
Yeah.
Which I was super impressed with my husband when I met him, because he was what I consider a fob. Like with his accent and with his dressing and things like that. But just his mindset was so refreshing. When I would try to label myself, and he was like, why? And he's still that way. And he surprises me and impresses me with just these little things. So I don't think it's about like where you live or how long you lived somewhere. It's really about, even he recognized, oh, there are things like my family's still like very into caste and things like that. I choose to not be that way. He, even though he grew up in that, he had to recognize and walk away, which I love, and which I want me to be that way too.
Yeah, like that self-awareness, right? Like I get that a lot, because our society, our culture hasn't been 100% perfect. Like no culture is, no society is. But the growth, in my opinion, growth is about not just being proud stupidly of your culture, but recognizing, okay, what is it? There were certain things that were right and there were certain things that were wrong. They worked as per the time. So do you choose to recognize that, be self-aware about it, and grow from there? Is what in my opinion, is the most way of being mature.
Yeah, and we have the best opportunity for that. We live in this country, and so we can definitely take bits and pieces from our travels. And even the world is becoming so global. And we get to interact with people from all over the world. We can definitely take the good and leave the bad behind, and even accept that maybe our culture isn't the best in everything. That doesn't take away from our patriotism or anything.
Exactly. No, I totally agree. I'm in 100% agreement there for sure. Yeah. What was the one belief that you had to unlearn in order to rebuild yourself?
I think I did not have good clarity on what loyalty meant, and that's something I had to unlearn. So loyalty, respect, love, all those things need to be a continuous thing, instead of just, oh, I was loyal to you at one point, I gave you something at one point, so I get to be toxic.
So setting boundaries with your...
Exactly. So setting boundaries of what is and is not acceptable to me, and kind of setting those boundaries every day and expecting people to respect that has been a game changer for me. And it's also been a hard lesson in strength, because it's easy to walk away from a relationship that's very clearly not working for you. But as far as the toxic people that you love and those that love you, it's been really hard to set those boundaries and kind of demand that respect. It definitely, respect goes both ways, right? And so that's been a difficult lesson to unlearn and kind of redo.
Okay. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, like so in India, right, like boundaries are completely unheard of, especially for women. Like before you're married, when you're a kid, you're like, you have to do whatever your parents tell you to, whether it's right or wrong. And once you're married, it all transfers to your husband or your in-laws. So the agency is something that's never
yours.
Exactly. And when you try to force that boundaries on your loved ones, it's the most difficult over there.
Exactly.
Right? Like where it's a boundary that you decided for yourself, for your mental peace or your mental health, and enforcing them with your loved ones is the most difficult.
Yeah, and then it's like when someone says you've changed, that is a very like bad thing to say. Whereas now I go, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
the past, if someone says, you've changed so much, I would be so upset. Like, oh no,
Yeah.
but that's how we're
Yeah.
conditioned
Yeah.
growing up. Is
Yeah.
like changing is a bad thing because
Yeah.
you're supposed to be a certain way and that's comfortable for everybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so kind of challenging those. And
Norms, societal norms.
yeah, that's been an interesting process for sure.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that experience, like unlearning that, change the relationship with yourself?
Oh, that is a very good question. That's something I had to address in therapy quite a bit because I think for me, unlearning and doing things a different way also meant that the same people were taking up real estate in my head, except it was the reverse where I'm thinking, oh, I am woke, I'm doing good because this is how they did it and I'm not doing it this way. And when one day my therapist challenged me and said, you're still thinking about them.
Yeah.
And whatever you do is kind of having them as the baseline. How about you start deciding and thinking, what would I do? What would Suha do without anyone's influence or de-influence? And so that took a lot of just trusting myself again, believing myself, thinking, okay, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've been through enough life experiences to realize what's working and what's not working. And this is how I want to live my life. This is how I want to parent. These are my boundaries in my marriage, in my, like the family that I'm born into and the family I'm married into. This is how I will conduct myself with my friendships. And these are my boundaries. So I'm not going to say I've mastered it. I struggle with it quite a bit, especially because it's all matters of the heart mixed up with all this too, right? You can't, but I think that's helped me a lot in just removing everyone from the equation. Just even like people I don't want to be like I'm trying not to even think about anyone.
Yeah.
Just how would Suha do this?
That's amazing. Yeah, that requires a lot of self-reflection to kind of like even decouple yourself with everybody else and just focus on yourself, right?
Sure. I mean, this career break I took to figure out what I want to do as far as next steps with my career, because I've done digital marketing and things because it's what I've known, it's what I've been good at, and it just kind of I just went on this path. I never paused to think, is this what I really want? And so reflecting on those things has also helped me reflecting on who am I as a person? Am I living in alignment with who I truly am? And is this what I really want to do?
Yeah.
So it's been a nice side effect.
That's cool. What surprised you most about the healing process? I know it's a continuous kind of like, it's not like, okay, I'm healed and I'm done kind of a thing. It's more of a journey.
Right.
What surprised you most while you've been on this journey?
It's how many loved ones I've had to lose.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yes, because you just think you're born and you accrue a certain number of friends and amazing like loved ones, and you love them, and it's kumbaya to the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like a divorce is something it's easy for the mind to wrap itself around because that person came in the middle
and he left
and things didn't work out, and it's a legal thing and you're walking away. But emotionally divorcing your beliefs and your relationships and your expectations, and also just walking away from all the toxic people, because once your eyes are open,
you see everybody.
You cannot unsee these things. So
Yeah.
it's been sad and surprising because there are people that I never thought
You'd lose.
I would lose. I have chosen to walk away and lose and have like harsher boundaries, which, doesn't always go over very well with our people, as you said.
Yeah.
So that's been the surprising part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Yep. What does safety, emotional or otherwise, mean to you today?
Safety is just being at peace with who I am, who I am with, where I am. That is safety for me now.
Okay.
It's just being at peace.
At peace.
And being free. There's nothing like freedom and peace.
Okay.
I would do anything for those two things.
Okay. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. So, what are you most proud of? Like, not on paper, like the degrees and all, as you said.
Yeah.
You have that. But in your heart, what are you most proud of today?
Kind of marching to the
beat of your own drum.
My own drum, and finally being able to feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And say, it's okay.
Being comfortable in your own skin, right?
Exactly.
It's so surprising to men when we say these kinds of statements. And they're like, why aren't you comfortable in your own skin? And I'm like, come live a life like us, like live a life in our shoes, and then you'll understand. And it's surprising that it took us 4 decades to get to this. For sure. To get to the stage
where we're at least recognizing that, hey,
that is
true. Was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Oh, tell me about it. Welcome to the club.
Exactly. That's why we're friends. So that is something I'm super proud of, or I want to be proud of, might I say, because like we said, it's still ongoing, and I do feel guilt sometimes, and I do miss some of those old aspects where life was easier. When you take a stand and you walk away from things, you're choosing the path less chosen and walk down.
The hard path.
It's a lonely path. And so just being able to say, hey, I'm okay with that because now I'm living in alignment with who I am. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So for someone listening to this podcast who might be feeling stuck or unsure, what would you advise them?
So, like when I began my healing journey, I guess I would say like in my early 30s or so, one of the first quotes I read was, the universe will keep teaching you the same lessons until you learn what it's trying to tell you. And it didn't make a lot of sense back then, but I've thought about it a lot, and I think about it quite often. And so if someone's feeling stuck, it's like, what is the universe trying to teach you? And why are you not able to, so it's not even the actual problem at hand that is making you feel stuck. Like there's something deep down going on that you're choosing to stay stuck, and I think it's important for women to know that there are options. There's a choice. And just going back to just trust your intuition, trust yourself. You only have yourself at the end of the day.
Okay. So let's switch up a little bit here.
Okay.
Rapid fire questions.
All right. Oh my God.
What's your favorite book?
Depends on what I'm reading at the moment.
Okay, you don't have a favorite book for like ever?
No, because I think as I'm changing, what I consider good or favorite has also changed.
So what are you currently reading?
I'm not reading anything at the moment, but I'm about to start a book. It's a self-help book. I forgot the name. Something anger.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I have to edit this, but I can look it up.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite song?
There's Bombay movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Hula Gula song.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very empowering song, but packaged in a very fun way that's meant for kids.
Yeah, the lyrics are pretty empowering, right?
Yes.
Halla gula,
But it's just kind of fun and
Yeah.
peppy. So I used to sing it to my daughter when I was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how it stuck, but even now, if she needs to be comforted, she'll be like, "Can you sing Hula Gula?"
Oh, nice.
And so one day I said, "I want you to listen to the actual song because it's amazing." And she's like, "No,
She doesn't want that.
I don't ever want to know what the real version. I
Oh.
want your version."
Okay. That's cute.
And the lyrics are something I tell myself too. A lot of those things. So, yeah, I mean, I only know it in Tamil. So
Yeah, I know it in the Hindi version of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite quotation?
This too shall pass.
Yes. Okay. Favorite movie?
Yeah, I have several across the board, I would say. I just have varied interests and also just about what season of life I'm in. I like romantic Tamil movies that are kind of light, like Maniratna movies or Gautam. Do you know Gautam?
Gautam Menon, yeah, for sure.
I love that guy. I don't know if people
Yeah, he does do that some cinematic love really well.
Yes, for sure. And just I guess with like Hollywood, I like the unique ones like Catch Me If You Can, Truman Show, old ones like Pleasantville.
Okay.
What is that one movie where he just keeps running? Run, Forrest.
Oh, Run, Forrest, Run. Yeah.
What's it called? Is that what
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. I love that movie. So
Yeah.
just kind of across the board, I guess.
Okay, that's cool. What's your greatest fear?
I've been into like a few near-death experiences,
Yeah.
right? And just like auto accidents and health stuff. And my biggest fear is leaving my loved ones behind and what they would do without me.
Okay. Classic type A personality. What's the courageous thing you've done in life so far?
Most courageous thing is, I mean, I feel like that's
been
the
that
entire
episode.
episode of this podcast is just trying to find who I am and walking away from everything that's not. Yeah.
Okay. What's your philosophy of life today?
Live and let live. You do you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Suha, for trusting us with your story and strength. This conversation is a reminder that strength isn't loud. It's the courage to, choose yourself even when it's hard, even when it's lonely. Healing doesn't happen all at once, but every honest step forward matters.
Absolutely.
So, if this episode resonated with you, know this: you are not weak for wanting safety, peace, or freedom. You are brave for listening to yourself. Until next time, this is Portraits of Strength. A quick shout out to today's sponsor, Sri Jewellers. With over 50 years of craftsmanship, they are now serving the Dallas community from Frisco, Texas. If you have someone special worth celebrating, check out their collection at srikrishna.com or call them at 430-231-1111.